Hey, what's up guys? My name is Annie Dalton, and today I will be doing a review of Writing for Public Relations for Manhattan College, which is the class Communications 307. In Writing for Public Relations, we read 4 different books that each had different public relations components that had come together to complete the topics that we as students need to learn to succeed in the public relations field. These books were Philosophical Leisure by Antoinette Holba, Sin and Syntax by Constance Hale, The Muse Learns to Write by Eric Havelock, and finally, Strategic Writing, Multimedia Writing for Public Relations, Advertising, and More by Charles Marsh. The first book we read and discussed in class was Philosophical Leisure by Antoinette Holba. One of the main topics of this book was idea-laden communications in comparison to phatic communications. Holba goes into great detail about the differences between the two forms of communication and why it is so important to be able to tell them apart. Phatic communication is the use of language to share feelings or establish a mood of sociability, rather than to communicate information or ideas. Phatic communication is basically any form of small talk, gossip, and there's really no sense of values or ideas in the communication at all. While idea-laden is meaningful communication, sharing ideas, and actually talking back and forth using education and logic to guide your conversations. Holba explains that people today are very complacent and that there is little to no attempt to even contribute to idea-laden conversations, and that the use of phatic communication is impeding on our ability to contribute to a real-life conversation. We are now attached to our cell phones, and we end up keeping to ourselves for most of the time. Holba is worried that we are silencing the idea-laden conversations, and without these idea-laden conversations, we as a society end up dumbing ourselves down. Antoinette Holba wants us to steer towards idea-laden communication, because when we do philosophical leisure, we are allowing the content to manifest outside of the individual in a conversation driven by ideas. Through our idea-laden conversations, we can learn anything and take our knowledge and skills to the next level, instead of just sitting back and having meaningless conversations. In the next book, Sin and Syntax by Constance Hale, she discusses a way to make your writing and words really stand out. Hale discusses the importance of sentence structure and the way we format our writing. She discusses how important it is to have suspenseful sentences that use tone. Sentences need to be meaningful, they need to have strong words that stand out, and most importantly, they need to get to the point. Hale also tells us that we need to make sure our sentence structure is varied, because reading similar sentences bores our reading and makes them not want to continue reading what we have written. In The Muse Learns to Write, Havelock tells us, the readers, that written word, or as he likes to call it, literacy, has authority over oral word. This is because orality is spoken and often hard to memorize or remember, but written word can be preserved or documented so you can go back and look at it over again. Orality is very simple and natural. It often uses pathos to create emotion and can often have a musical dynamic in the way the words flow out of your mouth. Literacy is much more complex. It uses more reason than orality does. There's more thought put into literature, and there are many different grammatical rules that need to be followed. Literacy uses logos, or logic, to create prose. Prose is knowledge that can be separated from the knower, which leads to the idea of action. This is important because prose is how you create your work. When you separate the knowledge from yourself, it makes it easier to plan out your ideas and create something meaningful. The fourth and final book is Strategic Writing, Multimedia Writing for Public Relations, Advertising, and More by Charles Marsh. This book is like a guide, teaching the readers how to appropriately format our public relations documents in a professional manner. Throughout the book, Marsh has added examples of these documents so we can get a first-hand look of how they should be. A few of these documents shown in the book are press releases, cover letters, resumes, speeches, and so much more. In Strategic Writing by Marsh, he tells us how important it is for our writing to have a clear purpose. For example, fact sheets are usually one-page documents. Therefore, you need to have all of your information perfectly clear and to the point. You want to make sure you are informing the reader on exactly what they need to know, and nothing else. Another key point is to make sure that the document is organized. If it isn't, the reader can easily get confused. Now I'm going to tell you guys about what I personally learned from this class and from these 4 books that I had just spoken about. Philosophical Leisure by Antoinette Holba has showed me the difference between philosophical leisure and recreational leisure through the way we communicate. Recreational leisure is often tied with phatic communication, and they both do not hold any educational or logical purpose, while philosophical leisure and ideal-laden communications do. This book has helped me to reevaluate how I spend my time. Instead of living through mostly recreational leisure, I've switched up and I've made many changes in my life. For example, I try to read the newspaper every day, or almost every day, when I get the chance. And instead of communicating through social media and talking to my friends about what color nail polish I should get on my nail tomorrow, we talk about more important things like what's going on in the world and what we're learning in our class. I personally believe that the Sin and Syntax book has helped me the most throughout this course. In every chapter of the book, Hale gives a breakdown of the cardinal sins of the writing topic and also gives the cardinal pleasures. The cardinal sins are the ways that you should not be using the writing skill. For example, forcing rhyme and alliteration and overusing them, making your work sound unnatural. And of course, the pleasures are the ways that you should be using these writing skills to enhance your documents and your writing. The Muse Learns to Write by Havelock has taught me the importance of both literacy and orality. Havelock explains the two in great detail, starting with the Greek culture of orality and how it has now slowly advanced into literacy. Having the knowledge about both orality and literacy personally has helped me not only as a writer, but as a person. This book has opened my eyes to see both the differences and the similarities in a topic that seems so natural to us all. Strategic writing has helped me throughout the course because of the examples of the documents Marsh has placed in the book. While doing all of our projects and papers, I have often went back to this book for guidance. This book has helped me as a public relations student. It has taught me a lot of the writing formats that I will be using in my future career. I plan to keep this book to use as a reference in the future. Each of these books have taught me new skills that I will be able to use in the future. Because of philosophical leisure, I now know better ways to use my downtime, making life easier for me rather than just wasting the days away doing nothing. I also now have better understanding of the ways in which we should communicate with others. Sin and Syntax has shown me ways to be creative with my writing while still being professional. This book has also helped me to touch up with my grammatical skills. The Muse Learns to Write has shown me how orality and literacy work as a whole, and it has also shown me ways in which they are used in media systems such as radio, TV, and the internet. Strategic writing has given me the skills to be able to write professional public relations documents. I am now able to format these documents that I didn't even know existed before this class. Communications 307, or Writing for Public Relations, here at Manhattan College, has taught me so many different tips, tricks, and topics to use in public relations and everyday writing, and even everyday life. The skills that I have learned coming out of this class are skills I will carry with me for the rest of my life. The 4 different books we read in class truly covered so much ground. So I have finally come to the end of my review for Writing for Public Relations Communications Class 307. Thank you guys so much for listening. I truly hope this video has given you some insight on the class. Once again, my name is Annie Dalton, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!